Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to V with Mike G, the show of life, the show of Bruce Campbell, the show of rum, cognac, and so many more amazing things. Today's guest is the amazing Brian McCullough of Maison Ferrand, the grandfather, founder of some of the brilliance of the Dallas cocktail scene. We talk about it all here. We talk about fatherhood. We talk about failures. We talk about successes, everything in between. And I'd like to say that this, if there was such audiobook on tape for Brian's life, that this may just be that conversation with a little bit of Monster Magnet love thrown in just for some fun. So, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with Brian McCullough.
Yeah, man, I think Dallas is a great city. I think there are a lot of things that make it a great city.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things I don't like, and there's things that I miss that I wish Dallas kind of did have. I wish there was a little bit more of an outdoor experience that isn't so maybe spread out outside the city. But
sure.
Other than that, the economy is great. But what makes it up is the community of people, man. I mean, it really is, and I speak on this a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if you were just to take, the cocktail world, the kind of thing that we kind of exist in it here.
Insular little world.
Yeah, that little world. But that community, there's no riff or back and forth. Everybody kind of supports each other,
right,
which is really kind of like a wholesome piece to this industry.
Sure.
So, but Dallas is good, man. The economy is great. A lot of things are able to happen, and they continue to. When
you kind of step outside of the cocktail realm or the hospitality realm, what's opportunity like here? If you were a guy coming in, maybe wanting to start a family, wanting to get a job, how is it for that?
Man, the city alone has, I couldn't even put a number on how many headquarters there are here.
Yeah.
Frito-Lay for one.
I think Samsung's got an office.
Samsung. Yeah. There's so many headquartered companies. Toyota's just come in, State Farm's just come in.
Okay.
And so there's the economy and the growth in the city is just astounding.
Yeah.
So, you may live in the burbs, but it's very affordable to live in the burbs if you're in that, if that's what you're looking for.
Right.
So for a family, man, yeah. And the school systems are great.
Yeah, because you're a father, right?
I am.
Yeah.
My son's going into 10th grade.
10th grade? Are you kidding me?
10th grade,
You can't be a year past 30.
Yeah,
what are you talking about,
you
bro?
Just keep counting the grays in my beard, bro.
Man, there really are very few, though. I can count them on, probably two hands.
Yeah.
So well done on that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, he's a lot in my life, man. We have a great relationship. He goes to Frisco, so, and
that's a good area, right?
Yeah, speaking of Dallas, it's kind of, you say Dallas, it really encompasses all the way, really kind of, you don't want to even say Mesquite or Rowlett,
right,
but all the way to Fort Worth, and then up to Frisco and down to Arlington.
You got McKinney and shit
you got
too, right?
McKinney and all that, so there's so much, there's so many places to live and so many opportunities for people to work and things like that. So it's great. It's great for that. It really is.
Well, so there's lots to talk about. We can talk about rum, we can talk about hospitality, but one of the things.
Rum, Jesus, this is good.
Again, it's like Criterion.
Oh,
fuck. Do you like movies at all?
I love movies, man.
Are you familiar with the Criterion collection?
I am very, very familiar.
An amazing plethora.
Back when you bought DVDs, I have lots of them. Yeah,
dude. So I had a collection.
Yeah,
and I bought. I would buy one a week, two, something like that. And stuff ends up going out of print. Needed some money for the business. I sold my collection for like $5,000. That's how sought after those DVDs are. Yeah, it's crazy,
dude. I used to go. So when I first, when my son was first born, I would be working at night, and then I would come home.
Yeah.
But before I come home, I'd stop by Walmart, get my Similac and diapers, and get my day ready. It was just like my way of winding down.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just walk around Walmart for an hour. I'd buy like 2 DVDs a night.
That's incredible.
For like 2 years. And so I have like this astounding DVD collection. And so, yeah, I've always, it just sits in my back room on a big bookshelf. And it's like, I just look at it every now and again like, man, nobody buys DVDs anymore.
It's kind of shitty. It's cool and it's not because Netflix just really makes it easy to go watch a movie in like one click. Yeah. And you do, though, miss out on all this cool like director commentary, the interviews and stuff. Yeah. But I guess...
There's also the idea of the package, you know?
Sure. Oh, yeah. It smells cool, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it really does. Like, the paints and stuff, like baseball cards.
Right. Yeah.
But so... What are you gonna do? Like, have you ever thought what you're gonna do with this collection? Even
I think probably a lot of us have probably made the mistake of throwing things away that we grew up with, or letting it go, or we let our parents let it go, and then as you get older, you're like, man, I wish I still had that.
Totally.
So I'm gonna hold on to them and give them to my kid.
Perfect.
It's like it's really not the same as like maybe having baseball cards or something else. Still, it's like, what is this antiquated weird thing called a DVD?
I don't know what
is this?
But some of that you'd be really surprised. Yeah. Some of them, like collector's editions and things, that go like Evil Dead had all these releases,
right?
And some of those early
Army
ones,
of Darkness, bro.
Fucking, I love him.
I met Bruce Campbell a couple times.
Did you really?
Oh, he's like one of my heroes, man. I love Bruce Campbell.
How do you feel about the series? The Evil Dead versus.
I recorded them all, but I've only watched a couple of them. It's still a little slapstick and all that kind of stuff.
But that's what makes it good.
Yeah, that's what makes it good, right? Yeah, Army of Darkness, the turn of the, it's just Ash.
I love Ash, man.
I had this. I'll tell you the story. Yeah. I used to run this bar called Jeroboam, and it was in downtown Dallas back in 2000. It was really the first destination spot in Dallas when it kind of the millennium. And me and a buddy of mine, Jack, who bartended with me, we used to do the Bruce Campbell bit, the Ash bit. We'd say the one-liners back and forth and bust each other's balls and fuck with each other and all that. And it's just like, all right. And this one day I turned around. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Tuesday or something. Yeah. And he's standing behind me, and I'm facing the bar, and Bruce Campbell walks right up to the bar.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
And we just got done doing the bit.
But Bruce, you should have seen the bit.
He's standing on the ladder, stocking, something on the shelves, and I'm just looking at Bruce, but swinging my arm, trying to slap and jack. He's like, what? I'm like, it's Ash, man. It's Ash. He's like, what? He goes, turn around. He goes, oh, and jumps down off the ladder. And Bruce Campbell looks at us, he goes, how you doing, fellas? And he does this thing. It's like, man, this is the coolest thing ever, man.
That's exactly what I would want him to say.
Oh, and my buddy dressed up as Ash for Halloween that year.
Yeah.
And he goes, I was Ash for Halloween. And Bruce Campbell goes, "You'd make a great Ash," because he does. He looks like Bruce Campbell. He's got the big,
like the real nice.
He's got the chin,
good hairline, and all.
Jack's an idiot, but I love him. But Bruce Campbell, he plays an idiot, and we all love him. So it kind of it really works.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but it was really cool, and he stayed, and then he was doing he had the book If Big Chins Could Kill.
Yeah. He was doing that book tour, right?
He was doing the book tour at Barnes & Noble or whatever it was, and I went and saw him the next day. But I kind of got him. He hung out for a couple hours. He was with his publicist and all that.
That's mad.
And he drinks Myers Dark and orange juice.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Campbell's drink.
Bruce Campbell's drink.
You know how important that information is to me?
Yeah, totally.
Because you look at Bruce Campbell and you think, well, he's classically good looking. Especially look at those early Evil Dead movies, right?
Yeah.
And he's still got good hair, good chin, all that. I would be like, he's got to be a bourbon guy, right?
Right.
Myers,
and that was back in 2000. I'm sure he drinks other things, but I thought it was great when he did that. He was that supporting character on that show on USA Today, the spy show. I can't remember.
Oh, that's right, the one on USA. Yeah. Oh, dude, what is it? Burn Notice.
Burn Notice. Yeah, Burn Notice. Yeah. And I think it made everybody fall back in love with him again.
Of course,
so great because he just played that perfect character, just aloof, goes and has cocktails. Does the Bruce Campbell thing.
The Bruce Campbell thing, man.
It's a thing.
It is
it's a total thing, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So this is good. We get to talk about Bruce Campbell. I never get to talk about Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, it's totally cool, dude.
It's a great thing.
I'm a big movie buff, man. I love it.
Me too. And
I like this rum, too. I'm going to pour some more.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Well, this will be good. This will be kind of the motivation for the conversation as we talk about rum.
Cool.
Multifaceted.
Yeah.
Dark, rich.
Lovely.
See, I'm just trying to have a commercial here. Well, so how long now? Because you grew up in Virginia, is that right?
Richmond, I did,
Virginia?
yeah.
So how was it through high school? Was it through college?
Yeah, no, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, through high school.
Yeah.
And I was a good student to a degree. I wasn't the great student, but I was, good guy. But
being a tall guy, I don't want to assume, but were you into sports?
I was into sports. I played baseball, and I played basketball, but I didn't play basketball for my high school. I mean, we had a great basketball team. We were amazing. Very fortunate to grow up with that.
Yeah.
But I played baseball, but struggled with some grades and didn't make my senior year team. And after all that, but I really loved where I grew up. I think it was probably the best place to ever grow up.
What are some things like?
It's just Virginia, man. It's 4 seasons. It's woods. It's streams. It's creeks.
Yeah.
And Richmond's a cool old town, one of the oldest cities in the in the country. And it's just there's a lot of down things that I don't really like about it. The whole Civil War thing. It's really so overly celebrated.
Yeah.
But there's also roots about it that are horrible. Obviously, that goes without saying. But
that doesn't mean classical architecture is not beautiful.
It doesn't.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Richmond is not. Richmond's a great town. It really is. It's on the river. So I grew up on the river and kind of being an outdoor kid.
Did the family go do camping and all that stuff?
Yeah, we used to do camping when we were growing up and all that kind of stuff. I mean, barefoot in the front yard all the time was a thing for me.
Yeah.
So
it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Did you know? I always took that for granted when I was a kid. We had beautiful Rocky Mountains around us, but did you actually say, I want to hang out with my folks, I want to go camping in the woods?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we used to do it all the time. I mean, I grew up in Virginia, so we're like Pocahontas State Park was backed up to my neighborhood's property kind of thing. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I love it. My brother still lives there.
Does he really?
Yeah, my twin brother.
Twin, just born same time or looks the same as you?
Yeah, born same time, July 5th.
Who's stronger?
He can jump higher than I can. He plays volleyball a lot.
Oh shit! Okay.
Still.
But you probably got more strength. Those dudes are too lean.
That's right.
Yeah. See,
I'll still pound him into the ground.
See, that's all that we really need to know.
With love,
of course.
With a pillow, I'll beat him.
My brother's 5-6 inches taller than me, skinnier. We'll still fucking fight. It's a remnant. This is how brothers are.
Yeah, my brother, man, he plays a lot of golf. He manages a construction company, but he plays he plays volleyball all the time, and he actually just played nationals, and they actually beat some former gold medalist Olympic people.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's fantastic. He's an amazing athlete.
That's incredible.
I used to be.
Yeah?
Yeah. couple of knee problems, and the beard set in, and I started eating too much and drinking too much and enjoying life too much. So,
but sometimes that's just what.
Yeah,
you gotta settle
I still
into.
got it though.
Yeah.
My vertical is just not what it used to be.
But doing QB and jumps and Heisman jumps, you're all set. You still can do all this stuff. What kinds of things? So when I think about the hospitality piece, so you're all right. So not the best student, either was I, because school didn't interest me at the time. Only when I got older did it. But
some people interpret it or pick it up or I don't know, absorb it and express it differently.
Yeah.
Than other people at different times in their life. I think
that's totally true.
I mean, when I went back to school after I just to go back to I grew up in Virginia, went to high school there, but attempted college.
Yeah. What any major?
Nope. Didn't have the grades to do that. But I went to a little school called Lewisburg in North Carolina, and got asked to leave, so I left.
Wait, no, hold on.
Yeah. Well,
you were too nice.
I was too nice. They said, "Listen,
you're making us look bad.
We're making us look bad. We need you to go."
Was it pranks or was it grades or was it a combination of both?
I shouldn't have gone to that school. I mean, they had an attendance policy, and it was a small JUCO college. It was a prep school for a lot of baseball players and things like that. It was an amazing baseball school.
Yeah.
A lot of every kid that played baseball there had their major league rights signed away already.
No kidding.
I mean, I didn't attempt to go try to play, but it would have been a nice dream. But after that, I went to the military. I went back to Virginia for a couple months and ended up in the military.
Which branch?
The Army.
Army.
Yeah.
Is that in any way a tradition in the family?
No, it's not. I mean, my dad was. So it was that tradition,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like, oh, you need to go to the military.
Sure.
That was never a thing. But my family was in the government.
Yeah.
Especially my mom's side.
What lobbying, working in the cabinet?
They worked for the agencies.
One of the major intelligence agencies.
Yeah, one of those majors, kind of like the central one.
Oh, cool.
So I kind of, it's something we don't really. It's not that big of a deal anymore to talk about it, obviously. But so I kind of grew up with that aspect around my life.
Was it intriguing to you?
Always. Yeah. My grandfather looked like a cross between Clark Gable and Sean Connery.
Oh, that's good. Still hair. Connery with hair.
Yeah, okay. Connery with hair. He passed away at the end of my 6th grade year. It was a terrible loss for me, but in the whole family, and he was the greatest man ever.
Yeah.
But I have this deep affinity for James Bond and always have because it looked like Grandpa, man. So and my grandpa literally traveled around the world and sent us postcards from Cairo and all these kinds of places, and it was really cool.
Could have actually been a secret agent.
So my mom grew up in U.S. embassies all over the world.
No kidding.
Yeah, one of my aunts was born in Ethiopia, and so my mom was born in Rhode Island. But they traveled around all over the place.
Yeah.
Lived in Iraq, Tehran, Beirut, all these kinds of things. So it's pretty kind of things I used to hear around the dinner table.
Did that? So when the people I've talked to, when their parents kind of moved around a lot, or even meet abroad and get married abroad, did you have that wanderlust too, like that kind of curiosity about the world?
I think that's probably why. Yeah. I know it's in you, man. It's created. Right? It's definitely created the romantic sort of intrigue in my soul. So I definitely carry that around with me, and I'm very proud of it. It's really crazy to see the way this world is now, and the way the world has been for always. Yeah. For lack of a
We're different, but the world's not.
We're different, but the world's not. Right? Yeah. Especially in the Middle East. So I really have this ingrained, curious spirit about me.
But also probably pretty accepting, it sounds like.
Oh, sure. 100%. Yeah,
that's 100%. Something that I think people sometimes are missing out.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, where's the Middle East? I don't want to go there. It's dangerous.
The Middle East.
I kind of would want to go. I mean, but then you have this inquisitive spirit that comes from your mom, probably your father.
Yeah, my mom was, as I grew up, my mom was the oldest of 8.
Wow. Catholic?
No. Greek Orthodox.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. My grandfather was a Southern boy from Georgia who joined the military, I think a year too early, kind of disappeared, found himself in the Navy, and then obviously working for the government. Yeah. My grandmother is this wonderful. She was a wonderful.
It's about 4 feet tall. I think
she really was. My grandfather was 6'2", 6'3". Oh my grandmother was like 5'1". Yeah. So it's like she's like a hobbit in a really big contrast. And they had eight kids, and my mom was the oldest. It's wonderful.
That's a crazy thing.
It really was.
Well, so making this choice in the Army, did you get deployed? Did you serve?
I didn't. I served. We were always on alert.
Yeah.
I did some interesting things while I was there, but we were always on. It was during the Bosnian thing.
Oh,
when Clinton was in
Clinton,
office, so we were always on alert and getting ready to. All right, go get your stuff and get ready to go get deployed. But that never happened for me. We trained for it a lot.
Sure,
we trained for it a lot. Then I blew my knee out and I got out. So, but
what is it? Honorable discharge?
Yeah. Honorable discharge.
About how long were you serving then?
I was in for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel like so? You get kicked out of one college. This is good though. I mean, like I'm not holding against you. I think that's a great fucking story already, right? So you go into the Army.
I'll tell you the rest of that story off mic.
No one died. Some punches, some pantsing.
Something burned. Something happened. Whatever.
But did you feel like those 2 years, those 2.5 years, kind of helped you grow up a little bit?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it really did. Everybody has their own experience when they do that kind of thing, and it was in between Desert Storm and the Bosnian conflict and these kinds of things, and I ended up in Fort Hood, and Fort Hood was going from green to tan, and it was just this whole weird thing. And you're still growing up, Because
you couldn't have been more than what, like 21, 22?
No, I wouldn't know. I was 18, 19.
Oh shit! Well,
yeah, okay. When I got out, I went back to college and used my GI Bill to go pay for college and stuff like that. And
how'd the second time go?
Second time went way better. Yeah, I failed out of algebra in my senior year in high school, and I got an A in it in college. So,
no kidding.
I think you grow and you develop a little bit. Everybody does that different.
I think so. Where'd you go when you came back?
I went to another small school called Garrett up in Maryland. My best friend that I grew up with was playing baseball there. He's like, "Come play baseball, man. Come up here." I was a writer, and so I ended up being editor-in-chief of my college paper there for 2 years while I was there.
What kind of writing?
Just like I wanted to be a journalist.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to do. So I did that to some degree. It was a small school, small paper, but it was one of my activities that I did. It was really one of the only things I always got good grades at was writing.
Did you enjoy reading as well?
Yeah, I like to read, but I'm not a reader.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not either. Yeah.
I'm not. I fall asleep, man, when I read. I do. I just and I kind of struggle with that. I really procrastinated when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because, like book reports and things like that. You had to get through a book. You had to do something. And I just, for whatever reason, this is kind of my personality. And everybody will attest to this. I hope. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Like if I have one thing to do, I just need to do this one thing. This one thing, Brian.
You had one job, Brian.
Do this, Brian. Yeah. Like if I'm in a group and it's like, okay, you have one task to accomplish this one goal. Let's get it done. I'll do that. But I just have this one thing that I kind of need to do. I know I need to take care of it.
Yeah.
I'll do everything else around it and get all these. It's terrible. It's terrible. But terrible flaw in my personality.
But that's how a lot of people work, you know.
Yeah, it is, and so it's why I tend to operate better in a very busy environment. Yeah. Because I'm able. I just function better that way.
Just doing a bunch of different things, and it makes sense.
It's like Brian, you really, and this is me talking to me.
Yeah,
Brian, you really need to get that done. I'll get it done, and then when I do it, I tend to excel at it and get it done and really do it.
Right.
But it just takes me a while to get that.
But that's
done.
Interesting because and
I don't know any. I mean, I probably could cite some specific examples, but it's just kind of the way I'm wired, I guess.
But you're interested in stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, being intrigued by things around you means that it's hard to focus on one thing. There's a massive world around us. There's massive tasks. There's so much to do.
They call it ADD, but I just can't get around to going and get for it.
You know what was cheaper than Ritalin? Rum.
It's a good thing. Speaking of that, you need a little bit more?
No, I'm good. I'm going to sip this guy. See, it's hard because it's like there's a fine line between being cogent in these interviews for me because I still got to be the one leading this thing.
Right.
You know?
Sorry if I try to take it over. I won't. I do like the rum.
It's a brilliant thing. So when you think about the journalism piece, was there an opportunity to say, I actually can do this for a living? Was there a job on the line?
There really wasn't. It's something I always want to do. Growing up, I really wanted to write for Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, yeah.
I really did.
Because of the music, because of the
I love music, man. And I love to write about it. I like to talk about it. I love to, explore into it. And that just really, when I left the college that I was at, and I came to Texas, my intention was to go to UTA and finish my journalism degree and be a maverick and all that kind of stuff and play baseball. But life happens, and you get distracted, and it just didn't happen. So I ended up after about my first year of moving to Texas.
Wait, so why did you move to Texas?
Oh well, that's kind of a story in itself.
Is it a girl?
It was a girl, but not like that. She was my best friend growing up. Her name was Lisa. Her name is Lisa. She's still around. She lives in California. But we grew up together, best friends all of our life. And when I was in the military and after I got out, she went to George Mason, same as my kid's mom.
Okay.
That's how long I've known her. And they cheered for the Redskins. The Redskins.
Yeah.
I've always been a Dallas Cowboys fan. My brother was a Redskin. I was a Cowboy, and everybody's like, why were you such a Cowboys fan? It's like, I don't know. I didn't go shopping. I didn't go buy my shirts. Like,
I was too, and I lived in Salt Lake City, so
like,
whatever,
as
right?
long as I can remember, I was wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt, and my brother had a Redskin thing, and I don't really know how it started, but I've just always liked the Dallas Cowboys.
Emmitt Smith, man.
Yeah. I remember my very first book report that I ever wrote was about Tony Dorsett, and it was in the 4th grade.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and that was the year that the LA Raiders beat the Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl 35-7. So I remember that very poignantly. But so when she told me she wanted to, hey, I'm going to go try out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I was like, oh, cool. I said, listen, if you make the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, I'm moving back to Texas with you. And I had like a girl that I was really, thought I was in love with at the time, that lived in Temple.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived away, and we were doing the pen. When people actually wrote letters to each other.
Well, and you're a writer.
Put a stamp on it and mailed it.
Yeah.
That was the way of communicating with the world.
That was a great time.
It was. It was kind of a bygone era, isn't it?
That's right.
Just different mediums, I guess, now. But she made it.
She made this squad.
She cheered for the Cowboys for 3 years, and I moved. I said that I got done with playing baseball and doing what I was doing at that college. And I said, I'm moving with you. So 2 months later, here I was, and we lived in Bedford.
What year are we talking when you came in?
96.
Oh shit! Okay, the Cowboys were great. It's 96.
96, yeah. I want to say 96 or 90. Well, yeah, maybe towards the end of 95. Maybe I can't remember how that all works.
But a completely different era.
Oh,
talk about that.
Yeah, and it was really shitty because it was like we just won all the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So it was on the downs. It was on the downside. I remember the first. I got tickets to my first game, and it was the Patriots versus it was a ball game. It was 6-3. I was like, this was boring. fucking football game I've ever seen in my life. And I'd never been to a football.
Like your first time going.
First time was like, seats were great. I was actually with an old Army buddy of mine, my sergeant, and we went together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he lived in, or still does, I think, North Richland Hills. But yeah, so
she got you to. That's great though, because you guys were close friends.
It was cool. Yeah,
and
very close. Yeah.
How did that end up for her? She's still cheering and coaching and stuff?
She ended up being the calendar girl, the cover girl, but she's always been this beauty pageant and in the center of the stage, very performing artist kind of sort of person, dancing, gymnast, and she actually owns a company out in L.A. and she travels around the world and does performance dances at like Sturgis. And,
no kidding.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
That's crazy.
Really, yeah, she's got a bunch of sexy girls that they go around and do this like USO troop kind of thing and travel around and dance for soldiers and bikers, and it's all kinds of crazy.
Sounds like a great project.
Yeah, she has a lot of fun in her life.
What were you doing then when you came into town in the mid-'90s? Like for work, you thinking you wanted to write? Did you just take...
I did. I wanted to go to school.
Yeah. Arlington, you said, right?
Yeah, UTA. It just never happened.
Yeah.
And I got some really shitty jobs, and I sold guns in Fort Worth, like legally.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
to like Fort Worth Police
Statute of limitations.
Yeah.
It's over. So.
There used to be this company called like Richmond Sports and Fort Worth Sports and these things, and it was a really national company. It was really nice, like an academy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I worked for the company in Richmond and got a job here. I worked for them too when I moved. And I was selling guns and things like that. Well, I was selling guns in their sporting goods department. So, yeah.
That's not a bad gig,
I guess. It was weird.
Right?
Yeah,
I bet the clientele's weird.
It's just weird selling guns, man.
Yeah.
I have nothing against guns. I'm not a member of the NRA. I don't own any guns anymore or anything like that. But, yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah. It's weird how Texas, in a way, defines itself by its guns. It's kind of strange, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I get the whole spirit,
So as a guy, you have an interesting and an actual firsthand relationship with the military. Most of us don't have that. So we tout our guns, right? It's like we never served. I've never served, but I'm also not out there talking about guns all the time. Do you, knowing what guns do, having been around people that were really willing to be in the line of fire?
Yeah.
Has your opinion on that stuff changed?
I mean, my view with guns has always been the same. I think their rifles are fine, shotguns are fine. Hunting is a part of who we are. There's nothing wrong with hunting. I think big game hunting, I'm not a fan of that. I think you do that. I mean, like big game, like if you're hunting moose or something like that's different. I mean, I'm talking like exotic animals.
Yeah, like rhino.
What's
careless?
Come
man.
on, man. That's just get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah.
But hunting for sport and hunting for food is nothing wrong with that. I don't think people should own weapons,
right?
Per se, and I think you can classify a gun versus a weapon, even though anyone can be a weapon if people are trained and they're responsible. But you learn this when you're selling guns. You do the 2-week waiting period,
right? You
fill out the thing and you send it off, and what's the point? Apparently, anybody can go get a gun anywhere. So
it doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah. There's such a giant loophole. There's so many vacancies in that process that just allow for our society to think that guns are okay.
Yeah,
and it's not. Guns should be in the hands of the police and responsible people. I hate the open carry law. I think that is not the wild west.
That's just posturing.
It fosters a conscience of aggression. Unnecessary, like I need to defend myself when I'm walking into Target.
Right. Like there's actual tension when there's not. It actually creates conflict when it's not actually there.
It creates conflict, and I don't think that's a healthy thing for this country.
No, it's not healthy for anybody. So then it kind of begs the question, you didn't make it to UTA, which was fine, and you're working in some strange jobs, as you said. Did you find a little bit of home and a little bit of family in the hospitality industry?
I really did, man. I needed a job, and I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. And I ended up, this is kind of weird, I ended up working for this guy. His name was John. I can't remember his last name. And he sold, like, timeshare kind of things. Mm-hmm. He had this company called Horizon International. And so it's like the advent of Hotels.com.
Oh, right.
So he had this thing like, hey, I go and buy all these unused hotel rooms and resell them back to travel agencies and things like that. And this guy was doing this, been doing it for fucking years.
I mean, it missed out on that fucking wave, man.
But the guy, I don't know if you ever met timeshare salesmen.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair.
They're about the scum of the earth. Sorry if you're a timeshare salesman, but, there was about a year where I had to be involved with people like this who sold things for Silverleaf and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with somebody trying to make a buck.
Right.
But I ended up working for this guy who was just an absolute crook. He's just an absolute crook. And it really exposed me to this part of the world I didn't really know existed.
The underbelly.
Yeah, kind of like the underbelly. And this guy was really generous with his money and kind of helped me through that time of the year, time of my life. But he was still just like, I look back at it like, if there was a devil incarnate, that guy was it.
Business with the devil. Oh,
but,
shit.
He was a devil with a smile on his face,
The devil always has a smile on his
face and this and that. And he really was a person who, went and bought hotel. Anyway, and I was just like, I got to get away from these people.
Yeah.
And I met a friend of mine who, my friend Lisa, ended up actually dating for a second, worked at a place called the 80.
80, what is that?
The 8.0 was an institution in Dallas. It was around for, at that time, about 7 years. And I came in right kind of towards the back end of it where it was like the hot place in Dallas.
Yeah.
And this is back when the Cedar Street was here and Uptown was really different. Uptown was really cool, I think. I think it was cooler then, but just because the way it was. And there's a place called the Velvet Elvis where kind of like Dragonfly is.
Nice,
It's like this really rad kind of joint. Anyway, he's like, dude, I just quit there. You could go. They'll hire you. I was like, yeah, I just need money, man. I'm broke. I need a job.
What do you got?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I went there and got hired. And I worked at the 80 for almost 3 years.
Oh, no kidding.
Went from server to manager to bartender to right away.
Yeah.
And had a blast and learned a lot about learned everything about this industry really. And then started working a few other places and thought I was the best bartender ever and whatever. But it closed. Right after its 11th year, and I just moved, and then I moved back to Virginia, and that's really kind of where my path started in the industry at the 80. But they had some in Fort Worth. Yeah, so I had one in Houston.
No kidding. So there's multiple locations. Did they all close?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure they did. Their 80 may be still existing in Houston, but they also own the Flying Saucer.
Oh,
it's Shannon. It's Shannon Wynn.
Oh, okay.
So Shannon Wynn is Meddlesome Moth.
Yeah.
Rodeo Goat, tons of places. Shannon's is really interesting working for Shannon.
Yeah.
Because I learned a lot about how cool people could be.
Yeah.
Because Shannon was, I still have the deepest admiration for Shannon. He's really a pioneer in our industry here in Dallas. His family, obviously, there's a lot of history. I don't know if you know the Wynn family's history, but his brother's got a highway named after him, Angus.
No shit.
Yeah, Angus Wynn Highway out in Arlington. But Shannon's just this. I always call him. He looks like Andy Warhol.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Long gray hair.
And the 80 is this crazy thing called eight investors, zero experience. So that's why they call it the 8.0. And I get that.
Yeah,
it was kind of like made my spirit who I am a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Free spirited.
Winging
it, but still being smart.
Yeah. And they're very creative and thoughtful in what they wanted to do. Right. And it's just like, I get this. I get it.
Resonates with you.
It resonates with me.
Why'd you head back to Virginia?
It's the millennium. Yeah. And my brother was getting married, and I just needed a break. I didn't think I wanted to be in Dallas anymore. I actually got fired from the 80. Started working at Shuck and Jive, and that's when I started working at Shuck and Jive over off Lovers in Greenville and shucked oysters. But I shucked oysters and bartended. But I moved back to Virginia really because my brother was getting married. I wanted to be back home with my family, and it was 1999. It was the turn of the millennium, and
symbolic
an asteroid was going to come strike the Earth. And
always does.
If that was going to happen, I should probably be around, my loved ones.
Yeah.
So, and I was still with my son's mom at the time. This was before him.
Is that the girl from Temple then?
No, this is a girl from George Mason. She was from Virginia as well.
Okay.
We didn't really cover that part of it, but it's.
I love lost all of it.
Yeah, love. So we moved back, and that didn't really work out. And she moved to California with my friend Lisa, and I stayed in Virginia, and both of us were on other ends of the country. And after about almost a year at Millennium, after the 2000 2K, the
Y2K.
Y2K, that's what I'm sorry, Y2K. My buddy called me, my guy who got me the job at 80. He said, "Hey man, I need a roommate. There's a job down here. They're making like $500 a night.
What do you think?
What do you think? Come on back. And I was making pretty decent money in Richmond and having a good time, but I was like, I'll come back. I'll come back. And I did. And hell, I've been here ever since. And that was in 2000. So I've been,
You've seen this thing change for 17 years and another 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been kind of a pretty profound thing. Seems like, did fatherhood and being a father really change the man? Because it seems like the military helps, right? It makes you a bit more disciplined and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Was it the same definitive experience for you, having to take care of this other person finally?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, God, I had my own struggles, and, you got your own personal addictions and your own personal things that you deal with. But when you have a kid, that really changes you, and it really changed me a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a big heart, and I know I do, and everybody will tell you that. But it's just, it completely changed me, and it makes you want to be better and do better for him.
Yeah.
And I think for a while I didn't know how to do that. I really didn't. I know I wanted to, and my intentions were always good, but I probably didn't make always the best decisions. But I love my kid unconditionally and everything else, and we got, you grow up, and it certainly makes you grow up.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know if you want to.
But then you realize you don't have a choice, right?
If you are.
Yeah.
And when you have a kid, you go, oh, I am not grown up. All right, it's time to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or at least let's get down the path, bro. So it really changed me in the direction of knowing what responsibility was.
Yeah.
And it definitely made me more responsible. I can definitely tell you that. But you still grow as a person.
I think it just expedites things.
It does.
And I'm not a father, but I've seen it.
Sure.
With close friends, it's just it transforms them.
Yeah.
And some of them were, they were a wreck.
Yeah.
Before, and it really, really helps them kind of get things together.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it certainly does, and for some people more so than others. And right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just the way of the world.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So then, there's a chapter at the Standard Pour.
Yeah.
When did this kind of start to unfold? When did you guys open that spot?
Well, what led up to Standard Pour happening? I'll go back a couple of years before that, is that I was bartending a place called Blue Collar Bar, and I kind of gotten out of the business a little bit. I was just like, if this is the industry, it just got really stale for me. I was working in the nightclubs and doing this stuff. It's just like, this is so unfulfilling. It just doesn't make me feel good as a person. And like, there's got to be something better out there. And I just wanted to get out, and I did this private event for Chris Zilke. He owns Bolsa and Theodore and Smoke and all that. And been a long-time friend of mine. And I did their Christmas party for him. He's like, Brian, man, would you come over to the Belmont and Smoke and please help us out? And they just got this review from Leslie, I think. And so I said, yeah, I just checked this place out like a few weeks ago. I was like, man, this place is amazing. This is so cool. I love this. I love the whole idea of it. And went there, and I started working at Smoke for 2.5 years, and that really changed. That working at the Belmont and Smoke changed my life more than any other decision I've probably ever made in this industry. Because I removed myself out of what was going on in my life,
right?
People I was around. Not that I don't love my friends, but you gotta do something different. And so that really broke the mold for me. So I went on this island by myself.
Yeah.
And did the Belmont and Smoke for 2.5 years, and really just fell back in love with the whole industry and what Tim Byers was doing, cooking over hardwood, and all these really authentic sort of real world things, really just resonated with me better than anything ever has. It's like, great. And after that chapter was over, my friends were running Fuzi and owned Fuzi, and like, hey, you're not there anymore. Would you come over here? Would you like to do something? I said, yeah, I'd love to do something. Like, well, what would you like to do? I said, well, I'd like to do this. So we came up with the Standard Pour. And so then we created the Standard Pour. And it really, out of leaving Smoke, within that next, maybe 10 months, whatever. We opened March 23rd, 2012. Leaving Smoke really was a really hard thing for me.
Yeah.
But one of the best things for me at the same time.
It's weird because it's like, I think we're talking about music for a second then.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Page left the Yardbirds. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But it was an okay decision, apparently,
Yeah,
starting Zeppelin, right? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you think you're in the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, the Faces, maybe. You know, Rod Stewart thinks from the Faces. Then he goes solo, and then things really break up. So maybe that's what had to happen. You know, you had to join the new band, or you had to go solo in a sense.
Really did.
To really see your career take off.
It was interesting because going solo, starting it, and then leaving solo from that same thing were two of the best decisions that ever happened to me.
Isn't that crazy?
So I really attribute all the experiences that I garnered with all the crazy, sweaty, hot days and smoke-filled nights at Smoke in Belmont, which, you know, a lot of work. It was the hardest working gigs I've ever done, but it was so rewarding in itself.
Right.
It re-administered my whole belief in the hospitality.
Mm.
And then when I left, it led me down the greatest path that I've had. So
it's crazy how that works.
It really is. And, you know, you got to believe in, once you've kind of clarified your life a little bit, I think when you're able to make better decisions.
Declutter. That's a word.
When you declutter.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're able to make, you know, well, just better judgments.
Yeah.
I think your life will kind of lead you down a better path, and it certainly has for me.
And you're still involved with S&P, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not there on a daily basis. I'm not really behind the bar anymore. I am when I'm needed to.
Yeah.
But I want that for my other guys, and you know, I'm think I'm in a period of growth again.
Yeah.
You know, we have such a wonderful thing at Standard Poor. It's the best family I've ever had. My partners there are they're the best, man. And they love me and I love them. They allow me to do what I need to do, and they allow me to do what I need to do for them, and they do for me. I mean, you can't really find a group of guys. I certainly couldn't have thought that I was going to find a group of guys like that.
Right.
Who were just like John and Brian and Brandon and James and Scotty. I love you guys so much. And we laugh, man, and we find responsibility in what we do together, but we find humor and brevity in what we do together.
Sure.
And it's a wonderful thing. And I hope, and I know that they have. I know our staff picks up on it, and I know our guests do. And it's really been the best thing ever.
Sometimes when you meet the trio, you meet the foursome, man. It's just, you can't change that. You got to stick with it. Just keep writing records.
You know, they found the way they put this team together with, you know, another partner of mine, Justin Kelhoff, and myself and Scotty. You know, we really ran the operation with James for Standard Poor, and John and Brian were just like, and Brandon were just like the head cheerleaders, like cheering us on, doing it and making it happen. And it's been a fantastic ride, man.
Wild ride.
It's been a fantastic ride.
Well, you know, you talk about Rolling Stone. I mean, in the 90s, it was a massive thing for me. Same thing with Spin. It was like really exciting stuff, you know. And I'm kind of curious, you know, when you think about this journey, which has had really particular steps, kind of moving here and growing and fatherhood and all of that. What's a band that's really been with you through those steps, through that growing, through that transformation? What's a band that you really always go back to?
Everybody, my close friends will tell you, my favorite band is Monster Magnet.
No shit.
Yeah, bro.
Can I share one bit about?
Please do, bro.
So, love Monster Magnet.
Yeah. No, I'm a Willie guy, true and true. I mean, I love all music, but that's just been my band, man.
So they were playing in Houston, 1997.
Nice.
There was a band called Far opening up for them. Friends of the Deftones from Sacramento. And this much smaller band. But they're on Epic at the time, Sony. The Monster Magnet was big shit at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking.
I'm just blown away that you
dude, love Monster Magnet.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Fucking love them. And
that's incredible.
So we wanted to go meet the band, and we can't, of course we're going to see Monster Magnet, but we went to see kind of the opener. And we walk around the back of the Abyss in Houston, which is a dank old bar. It's not there anymore. I think it was a fire hazard deemed hazardous or something, right? So we walk back, and Monster Magnet has their massive van. Van's the right word. Massive bus. That's actually probably more accurate. And we're walking like, God, whose fucking bus is this? Like, it must be Monster Magnets. They had a massive single at the time. And we kind of looking up through the windows, and all they're doing, there's about 4 TVs going all the way back. Kind of like how now in expeditions and shit, you have those rear seat TVs. All it is lesbian porn, like through the whole thing, dude. Because honestly, in total, it's probably 8 screens, but four of the same on each side. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And that's all. They're not even in the bus. They're like doing dinner or something.
It's not a hobby, dude. It's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle. Like, Rick, we're going to be out. We got to make sure we're maintaining the rep. And I was like, this is perfect.
That's amazing.
It was fucking amazing, man.
That's amazing.
Because you could see it clear through the fucking busway. Anyway, but that's Monster Magnet. And I'm really pleased to hear you say that.
Oh, man. There's a really good friend of mine named Josh Robinson who works used to work at Victory Park. He lives out in East Texas or West Texas. And he was a diehard Monster Magnet fan too. It's like, it's Gods and Punks is an album that came out, and I was just like, when you're talking about Space Lord.
Space Lords, yeah.
That was that single. That's what captured me. And then I go, like, what is this?
Right.
And when I went and bought that CD and I listened to Power Trip, I was like, what?
This fucking
my whole world just opened up. I was like, this is what I've been missing, for a long
That's
long
amazing,
time.
man.
No, I am. Anybody asks you or tell you, Eric B. and Rakim. Rakim is the greatest MC ever, and I am a diehard Rakim fan. Diehard. Yeah. I love hip hop, man. I grew up listening to hip hop. I grew up, D'Angelo, if you know D'Angelo.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, we went to high school together. We were in band class together.
You and D'Angelo went to high school together.
Yeah, man. He was
fucking kidding me.
He used to come over to my house, and sometimes my mom would have to take him home and stuff. And
wow.
He was the most incredible music talent you've ever met.
Seems like a good dude. You guys still keep in touch?
He didn't look like that in high school.
No, right. He's
definitely styled it up. But he could play any instrument by ear.
No kidding.
Amazingly.
That's crazy.
He was one of the most gifted. He is the most gifted musician I personally know.
Yeah.
It's not like I call. His real name's Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
But that's an incredible thing,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Virginia fosters some really good talent.
Yeah.
Created some really good talent in that genre of music, and a lot of music for that matter. But
I'm trying to, keep.
Is it Ray Acuff? Hee Haw.
No kidding.
I don't think it's Ray Acuff. Anyway.
So good stuff in music has been this kind of like supporting thing. Monster fucking Magnet. Never thought we'd be talking about Monster Magnet.
Dude, they released a bunch of new stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, dude. I got it on vinyl, Cobras and Fire.
It's good?
Yeah.
Man. They're a special band for sure. Yeah. I wish I'd got into it more when I was kind of a teenager, but I probably like it more now.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got a couple other things to talk about. We're here during Bar Institute in Dallas, which is Killers in Austin last year, 2017 here in Dallas.
I was there.
How did how was the class today?
Oh, it was great, man. Didn't have a empty seat in the room.
Killer.
I didn't, when Lindsay asked me to do, Lindsay and Brittany asked me to do a class for their Euro thing, or their traveling thing back a few months ago. And Mike Martinson and I did it together. Because we both went through rough experiences of having to close, our new restaurants.
Yeah.
Which was a, very difficult thing. And I was just like, hey, would you mind talking to people about that? Even though that's a very sensitive issue.
Sure.
You feel comfortable? I'm like, I talk to people about it all the time. For a while, everybody's probably sick and fucking tired of me talking about it.
We get it. You feel something, Brian.
So it was a very difficult thing. But it's actually... It's such a difficult thing that it actually makes it easier for me to talk about. Because it's not something I like. It's personal.
Sure. It's money. It's time. It's all.
It's time. It's your future. It's your kids' future. It's all these things. And people tell you. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. It's like, you need to know how I'm doing.
Just ask.
Just ask or look at me. And I'll tell you, it's not very hard. So, you kind of bare your soul a little bit, and you kind of tell you. But what I cherish most is if people can walk away learning from my mistakes and know what led to those mistakes and things to look for and things to avoid. And that's what I really talked about is the do's and don'ts of you want to own a bar? You want to open a restaurant? Well, here's some things to do. Make sure you do these things to the upteenth,
right,
whatever. And things not to do, and make sure you don't do those, because these are the consequences. This is what can happen to you. This is what will happen to you.
Yeah.
If you make these decisions and these sorts of things happen. What's really difficult for me is I knew it, but being invested with another partner who you kind of leave a lot of control over to.
Yeah.
It was not something I was comfortable with, and I wasn't comfortable with it in the beginning when it happened. But I was traveling uncharted waters for myself, and I opened Center Poor, but I also had a team. I didn't open Center Poor by myself. Good God, no. It was Brandon Hayes and James Hayes and John and Brian and Justin with me and Scotty. These are the things that made that happen. And here I went a little. I should have had a better team, but against my own better judgment, I let him kind of direct the path that we went. Even though I said, "Listen, I've got something tried and true here that we can just plug and play. Let's follow this.
What works?
Let's follow to the letter what works." And we didn't do that, and it led to its demise. And
when you think about
the class,
I've been through some similar stuff. I own a distillery, so I'm looking at P&Ls, I'm looking at taxes, all these kinds of things, right? And I was afraid to talk about it, not with my wife necessarily, but in close friends. I'm very, very open. But when things aren't going so well, you have to close, you have to shut down the business or whatever. I was looking at myself, and I kind of just judged myself. I thought I was a failure. I thought that I really didn't give it my all, I could have done better than that.
Yeah.
Did you go through through those kind of motions too?
Yeah, man. It was a very dark time for me. Through September and through October and November, and it was really hard for me. I really struggled with a lot of things. You have these thoughts and you have these things like, what the fuck are you going to do? How are you going to do with this? Oh my God, what? How did I let this happen? And especially you're less than a year old. It's different if you look at things and you've been down the road a little bit with this business, or you 3 years in or 4 years in, and you've got something to reflect back on. But when you look at it, you go, Jesus Christ, this is how this started. And there's certain things I talked about in the class. We don't need to discuss right now, but that I kind of led to, and it's like you get these red flags immediately, and then they're like markers in your timeline,
Totally.
Jesus, when I said that was going to happen, that happened. When I said that was going to happen because that happened, it happened, and it was. I certainly did, man. Felt like a huge failure. Honestly, I still do feel like a huge failure because it's something that I feel like I failed myself in not letting and in doing better, and I know better than that, and. But at the same time, you gotta learn to let it go, and you gotta get back on something and do it. And I'm trying to do that right now.
When you kind of pay it forward, which is a really valuable thing for people. We go through these experiences being older, and it's like the first wave or the first line of defense. They're the ones that sort out the minefield, man.
Yeah.
And so that gives some insight to those other groups, right? Does that make you feel better? Being able to make sure that people do not fucking do that.
Bro, nothing makes me feel better than helping people avoid those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Nothing makes me feel more better about myself and that, than being able to help other people.
Yeah.
And you have certain ways of being able to help other people, and if people can take away advice from me, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people look at me as a mentor and things like that, and I'm a dad. I want to mentor my kid, and I want to mentor my staff and things like that. But I don't really want to. It's kind of a weird thing to say. Maybe people think I'm wrong by saying this, but I don't like to consider myself a mentor because I still learn from other people.
You're not done.
I'm not done. I'm not done. I still need to be mentored, but I do want to be a positive influence in people, and I do want to be a somewhat of a sage for people because I think I definitely have things to offer there in that realm. But at the same time, I do know that you kind of carry that weight and responsibility around the community, and I understand that. I appreciate it. And at the end of the day, if you can help people,
it's all that matters.
And combine the community a little bit, and I think certain people are put on this earth for certain reasons, and maybe that's one of my things because I'm good at that. I know I'm a good rallier, man. I'm a good head cheerleader,
rallying the troops.
And hopefully people listen to me when I say the good things, not the good things, not the bad things.
Good with the bad, though. People take that.
Good, better, and different. Yeah.
When did you start working with Maison Ferrand?
Well, I've always supported Maison Ferrand.
You're wearing the plantation rum shirt, right?
Yeah. It's a beautiful shirt.
Amazing goddamn rum. OFTD.
Oh, fuck that.
If we had that stuff, we wouldn't make it through the interview. It'd be great, though.
It would be. It's fantastic, man. I've had a deep admiration and respect for Alexander in that company for a long time. I was introduced to their gin 20 years ago.
Citadel, right?
Citadel.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal gin. It stood the test of time, and it's a great product. And as well as Pierre Ferrand cognac. When I opened Jeroboam, we had the Pierre Ferrand line at Jeroboam, and I hadn't experienced it. Didn't really know too much about it, and that really opened my eyes up to Maison Ferrand. And I've been a supporter of them ever since.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of brand work for people. Done a lot of work for Zodiac. The owner of the company is a friend of mine, and I'm really fortunate with the Zodiac thing. I got to meet Casey Musgraves and do a whole sort of video campaign with Casey, and
cool.
She's amazing, sweetheart, wonderful person. I love her music, love her as a person. And so there's a lot of brand work. I mean, having the Standard Pour and doing the USBG and all these things, I always say I've probably done more brand work than most people. But being able to work directly with Maison Ferrand now is awesome because the products are fantastic. I love the rums, man.
It's a fucking killer.
I love the gins. I love the cognacs.
Yeah.
And everything, what people don't understand about Maison Ferrand is, or maybe they do, maybe they don't, but, it's just Alexander. And then there's Guillaume Lamy.
Yeah.
And then there's us. So there's not like you want to ask something, you just send an email or call Alexander.
Yeah.
And it's the whole team. Greg Doxakis out of Houston is a dear friend and a mentor.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love being able to learn from people. But it's been a great experience so far.
So of this stuff, because we all know again, OFTD. I was in Paris, and that's the shot that I took it at Dirty Dick, because they're like.
Yeah, I was with Steve Shooter, dude. Scotty Shooter. I was with him, all week at Tales. Last 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, and I hadn't met Scotty before, and Scotty's great. Dirty Dick is a great bar.
It's an amazing bar. There. Oh my god!
But I got to hang with him and Paul McFadden and all the guys for the week. And Rocky is just one of my dearest friends, and Docs obviously. But the whole company as a whole, and Adrienne Stoner from Lost Lake she's the jam, man. But the company as a whole is just really, they have this ingrained genuineness about. It's about the product, and it's about the juice, and it's about the process of making what goes into that bottle, and they believe in it, and they let that be their mark, rather than just like, how can we make the most money? That's not their focus. And Alexander will say this to you. It's like, he doesn't care about money. He cares about how good that product is going in there.
Yeah.
And he's the one who handles it. And it's him.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's great. I mean, there's two people who really, really make what goes on in that bottle.
Yeah.
In every bottle of all the stuff, and it's about as hands on as it gets.
I mean, it's lovely stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, and there's it's got this cool kind of cult value too.
Yeah, that states that stinking fancy. Oh, the pineapple.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
The
Come
OFTD.
On. Yes.
This is a 3-star, man. The 3-star.
For me as a non-bartender, I like the crispness and the wild kind of almost natural nature of plantation.
Yeah.
That and a truly dark rum combined.
Yeah.
And that's it
Boom.
for a daiquiri. It's perfect texture, man.
Yeah.
Takes you everywhere you want to go.
It's fantastic, man. You get a little bit of that Jamaican funk.
The funk is really important.
It's great.
So I got 2 questions left.
Yeah.
We've been on this interesting journey talking about
pouring another rum, by the way, from Barbados. John Garrett.
Brandon, Lion, Scott. The whole fucking group.
You're one of my favorite fucking people. I love you.
One of mine too, actually. So, we could spend an hour talking about music, man. I'm sure we could.
We certainly could.
But I suspect this will go in a musical direction. But I ask everybody this question now. Let's say you're sipping whatever you want to sip. Maybe some OFTD. Maybe some wonderful cognac. I don't know. Yeah. At your favorite bar in the world. And you can sit there and have a drink and have a conversation with anybody, living or deceased. Who would you love to just sit there and talk with?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a question. It would be my grandfather.
Oh man, Sean Connery
It would be my grandfather. It would not even a question.
Yeah.
I would love to sit and have a drink with my grandfather. Nothing.
Did you know him quite well before sixth grade?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
he's a good dude.
He was. I love him. Still love him, and I miss him. But yeah. I wish I could know who he like. I wish I could get to know him as a
an
man,
adult,
as
right.
a man. You know, like that would be amazing. I'd love to have a martini with him.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really have a whole lot of booze around my house. I mean, we had wine. My mom didn't really drink. Like in my house, there was always like amaretto or Kahlua or Tia Maria.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. My brother used to get mad. I used to take vanilla extract and like things and dump it into the milk jug. Sorry, Mom. I used to do this. Like pour amaretto into the milk, especially if it's like halfway down.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's probably one of the things that led to my demise. But my grandfather had, little whiskeys down, little at the bottom of the hutch. But yeah, it would definitely be my grandfather. I would love to talk to him and hear about all the things that he did, and just there's so much I would ask him.
Yeah.
So much. I don't even know where to start.
It's hard, when you become a man, the true meaning of a man, and the people that were really important to you when you're younger, that were older, like you're not capable of sipping what is the finest facilitator of conversation, man.
Yeah.
Sipping just a few whiskeys, that's something really, really precious.
Yeah, it really is.
It makes a lot of sense.
Maybe aside from my grandfather, maybe Nikola Tesla.
You didn't drink though, apparently. Bastard.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd love to pick his brain.
It'd be pretty good. Man,
I'd love to figure out what was going on in that guy.
Smelly guy. Apparently didn't take showers. But there's a lot. That's a whole other conversation about Tesla. I will not pretend to be an expert about him.
Oh, yeah. Everybody tell you I'm an ancient alien fucking phenomenon. Yeah.
It's a good show, man. Show. The guy with the hair or the lack of hair. That's
great show.
Got hair.
He's great, man. I appreciate my great brothers.
It's amazing. All right, so last question for you. So you've done some brand work. You're absolutely a mentor to the community. You're doing Bar Institute chat, so you're an expert ultimately. Now you're still living life. You're still learning, right? We all are. Is there another big milestone, another big notch on your belt that you're still wanting to achieve here?
There most definitely is. Can't really talk about it.
Is it a business thing?
Yeah. There's things that I want to achieve. There's things that I want to do. Like I said, me personally, actually just talked to my partners about this yesterday. I'm in a period of I think, growth for myself, and I look forward to it. I'm excited about it. I'm still going through a lot of struggles from the last year and a half.
Yeah.
As obviously, but I'm able to kind of navigate down that path a little bit easier and figure out where I want to go and what I want to do, and doing a little brand work and things like that, and stepping away from changing my daily routine has been a huge help for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
you got something.
There's definitely another chapter coming. I can promise you that.
It's like a Star Wars sequel, man. No one talks about that shit ever.
You got lofty goals and dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
And as you get older and further down your career path, at least this is my industry. This is our industry. You're able to hopefully be able to realize some of those a little bit easier.
Sure.
And hopefully for me will still be the case. And I certainly am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Patience is a tough thing for me, man. I wish I was a much more patient person. And I'm not just. I wish I was a much more patient person. I get excited, and people tell you I get excited about things, and it's part of my personality, just who I am. And I'm not going to discredit who I am.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes us up who we are. Is our DNA is ours. But there's definitely another chapter coming, and I really hope that we'll be able to talk about it
soon enough, man.
Soon enough.
It'll be
sooner
good.
than later, but even later, like I said, will still be soon enough. So,
Keeping the audience on the edge of their seats.
Sit on your seat, eat your Junior Mints, and eat the popcorn, and we'll see what happens. But
the sequel is coming.
Sequel will be coming at some point, and whether that, no matter what it is, there's more to what I'm going to do than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not extremely blessed in my life.
Right.
Extremely blessed in my life. Trigger's Toys has been an amazing thing that I've been very fortunate to be a ground floor part of. Chef for Farmers, Standard Poor, the USVG, and tons of other charities and things that I'm involved with, and just the community in general. I love everybody. I always like referring to semi-pro. Keep it tropical, man. Everybody love everybody.
Everybody. It's good.
But there's definitely another chapter. I'm not done by a long shot, and I'll be hopefully taking a lot of people with me wherever I go.
So we'll let the listeners figure out. They'll fill in the gaps.
Well, hopefully.
Wait, he's going to take people?
Hopefully they're intrigued. I don't know.
I think they will. They've got to be intrigued. We'll see. But man, it's good. I'm so glad we got to finally make this happen.
Yeah, me too, bro. I've been so humbled every time you've asked, and Hendrix, man.
Sure.
Hendrix is my homie.
I love Josh. Yeah.
Josh is my homie, man. And I got a lot of homies, all of them, and I love all of you. Love you all. And I know there was a couple times like, hey man, come on, you want to get on the thing with me and Mike? I was like, bro, I got to work. I can't, I can't break away or whatever. But it really means the world to me to be able to sit down with you and do it. Especially thanks for the rum.
Man, sipping rum
with you, having a little chat.
Great conversation. It means a lot, man. And I'm glad we finally did it. I think this is important. I think it's important to talk about our lives. We're not, it's not braggadocio. We're not self-aggrandizing.
Yeah.
We've been through some shit. It's time to talk about it.
It's therapeutic, and it really, it's good. It's therapeutic, man.
Good.
And thank you for allowing me to talk.
It's just a pleasure for me, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's been really good. And Brian, now we're going to keep in touch even more than before, man.
Monster Magnet, bro. Come on. You like Monster Magnet?
2007. Wait, no. We'll see. Thanks so much for chatting, man.
Man, I love you, brother. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you. Well, there we have it. The wise man himself, Mr. Brian McCullough, now Maison Ferrand, bringing some lovely cognacs and some astonishing rums to the masses. Still one of the more influential and mentoring kind of guys in the Dallas cocktail scene, and it was a pleasure to learn about his life, learn about him as a father, as a fan of great rock music, and being a vulnerable guy. It was an honest chat. I mean, there was moments there, right? There are things that we feel that sometimes, behind the bar, we're not really inclined to get into. And Brian, sharing that stuff with you, man, it was really a lovely experience. One of my favorite conversations yet. So thanks, everybody, for listening to Show to V with Mike G. No matter how you're wondering why on the third season of Monk did the woman change all so abruptly, or if you're thinking my parents are coming into town any moment, I really got to get this house in order and really, really clean, please keep dancing.